Hey, what's up? Just checking in for a video, and I want to say this video is no more or less insightful or delightful than um, a displaced street psychologist and off-duty clown making a couple, sharing a couple ideas, and your greatest your greatest license is like they have I think um in uh so I'm gonna you can say if you say the right thing you can it can get if you say the right thing somebody know your background if you if you say the right thing someone can't stand you, so I'm gonna say like um for lack of a word, if you watch some old school pickup artist videos this and that on YouTube, um they can say some things, but they would say like some things about like I think it's like they have so you have pre-selection. So that's like when you just appear like, yeah, this one would say this and that. This one this person looks like people would fuck with them. They look like people mess with them like that. Before they, or you can just be somewhere and it's like, yeah, people gotta mess with you to know. So like a lot of time like you're in middle school and you got invited to the cool party by somehow, and like for me, because I was one to talk, I was one to talk nonsense when I was young. So I actually had a class about philosophy. There was a philosophy class in eighth grade. So I was a B string basketball. No, we were undefeated, mind you, middle school. Um, and it wasn't easy to make that team. And I was a good practice. I would push people in practice because I wasn't friendly with none of my the teammates. Their ass looked like competition to me the whole time. I had thought of them as competition before I met their ass when I was practicing in elementary when I got there, but I wasn't nothing about camaraderie other than I wanted us to win, and I did believe in practicing. Like I believe in practice. Um, Practice. We're talking about practice, and also I had my inspiration in life was Allen Iverson. Like when I don't mean to name drop with that, but he was one of my he was my goat tier. Just his rookie year, he was already the goat to me. His rookie year, because like if you seen sport, I would watch. I would like a lot of people have a, a lot. I don't mean to make light about putting these two words together, but a lot of people that are grown people now they have a problem with porn and stuff like that. Certain things that they can't not look at. I was that way about Sports Center as a kid. I had a real problem about Sports Center as a boy. I played basketball all day, come home, watch Sports Center. My friends asked to be around, my family's asked to be around. I'm watching episodes of Sports Center, and they had another one like NBA. It was like with a Mara Rashad, NBA something. I don't care how many times they played the same episode. I'm watching the same episode just for that one move, that one highlight of Allen Iverson. Who Allen? What? Who the like night before? I remember like the fall of his rookie year. That was like 96, 97. Anybody who know about basketball know what the rookie class of 96, 97 was about. You had some you had some people that would end up in LA that were great. You had some people that would end up in Philadelphia. Um, and you had like I'm just gonna go someone name drop, I might as well name drop. You had Kobe Bryant that year, you had Allen Iverson, you had I think you had what was that brother from Ray Allen? You had uh who was that uh you had uh um uh um what was brother I'm from I actually that next summer I moved up to Minnesota, but they had that year in Minnesota you had what's brother's name uh Stephon Marbury, to name a couple. That's your real double XL freshman team is 96, 97. And I was up on I had a real problem about basketball at that time. I had like there's some little like fly ass girls. The only time in life I can really say hands down I had some little fly honeys checking for me was 96, 97, because my ass was about basketball and I was more worried about basketball than the actual fly honeys. They were fly to me because I like girls, but I actually like get flyer girls at school, and I was intending to impress them with my basketball moves, including practicing alone with the regular tier fly ass honeys where I would stay at. But so that's the type of time I was on in 96, 97. fifth grade, and then uh, but even before the fall had barely halfway through the the first half of the fall, and Allen Iverson was already my GOAT because the type of shit he was, the type of bullshit he was putting up on Sports Center. So some people would give him a hard time, like, practice. We're talking about practice. He was the main motherfucker, had me out there practicing like that. Like, people before there had, I don't think there had actually been a term for what a crossover is. He was crossing people on the court, but there actually wasn't a term for it yet. But I knew what that shit was because I saw him do that shit. And I was trying to emulate that shit, that there wasn't nowadays they say, like, oh, the crossover, he crossed that fool. But actually back in the day, they were, I've said on this channel that there's certain, according to Nassim Nicholas Taleb, there's certain things that you just simply don't have a word for yet in this life because people ain't seen that shit or really thought about how that shit is like that. And that crossover had been one of, even the word crossover, that sounds a little bit too like trite and commonplace because there really wasn't being a word for that shit. And when people do a crossover, it's not the same shit as what Iverson did in itself. The move ain't the same, but also the fact that people know about that shit, it's not the same as when you unleash. It's like that's some contraband. I said in this video and another video on this channel that the main shit that runs shit in life is contraband. Good, bad, ugly, lawman, street person, this, that, where the buck stops, the bottom line is contraband. That shit people ain't account for and ain't know about, that can get over on a situation. And Allen Iverson, and the greatest contraband is ideas. So Allen Iverson had bust out that contraband on those fools, but he had got that shit because you got to get contraband from somewhere. So I read some books about Iverson back in the day. There's like an autobiography with Allen Iverson, and there's actually, I think he has a couple autobiographies, and I read them cover to cover when I was still a boy in school. There was a I think there was a picture of him and some of his family in that I don't mean to be blasting the man and what he got going on, but in that book there was a picture of him and his family. And as a child, I could appreciate how beautiful that picture is. That's one of the most beautiful. Some of the pictures of him in those books with his family are some of the most beautiful pictures you'll see, even beautiful than him putting it on fools when they ain't seen that shit come in his rookie year. But in there it said that there had been a fool on his team, like a second, third string, even fourth string player, maybe even someone like a actually a Jersey player that don't get out on the team. But he had showed Iverson what the crossover is. He had broke out the crossover in front of Iverson. So here go this fool. He wasn't even getting playing time. I think that might have been like one of your Georgetown players where Iverson was at, and and Iverson knew what that was about, and then he brought that shit to the league, and they weren't expecting that shit. But props that first person that he had got that from, and props to him for peeping game. Like, yeah, this fool, he don't got the same clout as me as a starter, but I'm rocking with that shit because it worked, you know. But just to give credit where credit's due. Um, but um, but so all I meant to say is that in middle school, I'll find every once I was in philosophy class and I was saying some slick ass shit out of my mouth, and then the teacher was like, the teacher was actually taken aback with what I had to say about what I was saying then. This is like the late 90s. I was saying that, yeah, a lot of things are about technology, but it's like a car heading straight for a goddamn cliff. Is the more and more sophisticated and faster technology is we're going straight to hell. We're going straight over a cliff with that shit. I said it as a little kid, but there was actually there's a girl. It's kind of weird. There's this girl in that class, and she just actually ran the whole damn school. Anything cool got to go. Anything. Sometimes you don't know what people's real clout is about or where it came from. But there's this girl in school she ran the whole damn school because there wasn't no fly ass parties going down without her organizing that shit. That maybe that was just her actual talent. Because sometimes people just have strange talents in life that people can't explain, can't replicate easily, and they don't know where that shit came from because that's your real actual talent. So this girl, she ran shit with the parties like that, and she was impressed too. She's like, wow, there's a party tonight. I want you to know about, there's a party tonight. So she had my ass at some party, and when I was on the basketball team, I was like that player that had some playground moves, but I was more of like a individual style, maybe like an artist. I had seen a poetry slam, Def Jam poetry slam, where this brother did a skit, suggesting that young boys playing basketball alone are more like artists than athletes, if you think about it. So I think I was like that as a child. So that got me up in his parties. But all I meant to say is that you be at a party somewhere, and everybody at that party know, like damn, a lot of motherfuckers didn't get. I don't mean to say that because we're kids and stuff, but a lot of fools ain't get invited to this party. So if you got invited to this party, you're somebody to be here. But some things that are about you, they're like not easily replicated or falsifiable indication. It's like a status marker indication, but you can't fake that without some real living over seasons that would take to that you can't face that. So I'm saying, as you look at me like this, I can't falsify it being a clown. I can't falsify it maybe coming across like a clown. But and also, if you see my shoes, I got the brown Converse on there, and they look a little bit um uh like if so I look a little bit like if Ronald McDonald got another chance to do things right again, to do things the ethical way. So instead of mass producing shit that can kill people, no disrespect, because people got to eat, and sometimes that's economical at night. But instead of things that are less healthy, I'm giving some ideas and stuff like that. I remember one time I had one of my girlfriends. My I don't know if you could ever say I've had a like requited Valentine. Like I was thinking, like, for me to say that I've ever had a requited Valentine, you'd have to ask that go into a question of free will. Is that, do we really have free will in this life? Can we do something without being compelled or being prior, having some prior prompting, some prior efficient cause that would have us thinking that we're acting, but are we acting with our own initiative and intention or something else? So when young people make Valentines for each other in class, are they, and you make a Valentine for the entire class, if your Valentine gets to somebody that likes you a lot, is that a requited Valentine? In that, did you choose to do that, or were you obliged to do that? So them little fly honeys that I'd be trying to impress, I had got a Valentine for them. But I think they had, everybody's ass had to give a Valentine to everybody's ass in the class. So I can't say whether I've had a requited Valentine, but I once had a lady friend, and Dan, was I referencing her? Um, I had me a lady friend when I was grown, and um, oh, and then so I had a little fling, and then later, one of my other trifling ass friends, but he's great for being trifling because you get your hard knocks and lessons with your trifling friends, and it had to be love that we were as much as friends as after as much as I grew to can't stand the shit he did and this type of shit he did. But he was like, yeah, man. See, that's the thing about it, man. You were actually offering her healthy food. You were offering her healthy food, but she wanted that McDonald's, son. She just wanted that McDonald's. And so I'm saying, McDonald's, he won with that shit. McDonald won with McDonald's shit. But I'm coming back, if he had a chance to do it right, with some more healthy but getting that shit off mass production, but a little bit less of consumption, but with the healthier stuff. So if he came back, he might do the Converse Brown this time and talk about healthy stuff. But just to say, certain things you can't falsify. So I'm gonna make this video as as a uh, as a street psychologist and off-duty clown. And I think some parts of my appearance and attire I can't falsify, being a off-duty clown. And then hopefully with this type of statements, I'll say it can be the statements of a street psychologist. But what I was saying is, like, I was going with the idea is that some people, like some, you might appreciate like my hair getting longer. Some people might rock with that. I think that, like, the best thing about your hair, at one time there sometimes, like, people in other cultures, they have like lingo and slang that's really kind of deep, but you're not familiar with that where you're from. So like, I have family from Southern Africa, but like from the southern region of Africa, and probably some family that get over into South Africa, the country. But me and my trifling friend, not to call him, all things are perspective. From my perspective, he's trifling. He could say, not egregious, just simply, we were young, very young when we were friends. But he probably could have things to say that would be less favorable about me and some of my ways of doing things. Like, everybody's ass is bogus on levels, but we were great friends, and he taught me a lot of stuff, like how to ride a bike and how to drive a car. And then we had a we he had like a family friend who was visiting. She was a grown woman, we were grown. She was from South Africa, and she was with us for like maybe like 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks visiting from South Africa, and my hair can grow fast like when I was young. So within the time that she had visited us, from like within 3 weeks, I had went from a brush fade to having curls, and I was rocking curls, and she was like, like she was my friend. He was funny than shit. He was like he had enlightening humor. That's one thing about, you can't take that from the person. And the things about him that make him egregious will make him more enlightening. Like I had another friend. We were little boys, but just to tell you what type of friend, type of time this dude was on. So we were boys. He was a couple years older than us, but not much older. But we were little boys. I bring my buddy that stayed by me. He taught me a lot of things in life too, but he was still a little bit younger than me. So the three of us are hanging out. None of us are past middle school. And then these fools, they get to smoking paper. They're smoking they're smoking a doobie, a spliff of paper, writing paper, like notebook paper with nothing in it. They're like, yeah, man, we about to puff this shit. I'm like, you're gonna smoke paper? I was like, y'all are kidding, right? Y'all are about to smoke paper? They're like, yeah, man, this is what we do. My daddy do. I see my daddy, and I'm like, you you're about to you seen somebody smoke a piece of paper before? Um, so that's the type that type. I'm just saying, like they could do some stupid shit, and I was like um I put up a fight because there's about to I'm like, okay, you might have seen your dad smoke a cigarette, but you never seen somebody smoke paper, because that's stupid and shit, because the paper itself, that's bad smoke, and there's nothing in it. That's some, and then so they're like, so it's like two, like gaslighting is like when you convince somebody that they're crazy. And so when you have like, that's to show you the power of the group. Like they can put up enough of argument, they join teams to make you think, damn, uh am I crazy because I don't like, because I'm not about smoking paper. um but uh but when we were older, this girl was like, uh um this girl was like, yeah, those curls, they favor you, they suit you. So all I meant to say is that, the best, I think, because I seen people win life and kill life with a bald head. I seen people win life and kill life with longer hair than mine, with shorter hair than mine, with doper hair. But the thing is like, what make your hair dope